the second of our loudest salawat for the hasten and the reappearance of Al-Imam Al-Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Al-Sharif. And the third loudest salawat for you, brothers and sisters, the Khuddam of Abi Abdullah Al-Hussein, who have taken this commitment to come and arrive and participate in the majlis of Abi Abdullah Al-Hussein. For your safety, sallu ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا صدق الله العلي العظيم. Once again, the holy month of Muharram has come. Once again, all universes, all planets, all of Allah's creations have started the procession and the mourning for Sayyid al-Shuhada, the master of martyrs, Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. Once again, the blood-stained shirt of Imam Hussein alayhi salam has been brought by Lady Fatemeh, his holy mother, given to the Malaika in the heavens, and they in their role have displayed the blood-stained shirt of Imam Hussein in the heavens as a sign that Muharram has reappeared and returned. The majalis of aza, the majalis of lamentation, the majalis of mourning for the master of martyrs had started in the heavens days before mankind started his majalis for this year's Muharram. All of Allah's creations, whatever Allah has created, is now mourning for Imam Hussein. So what is our obligation? Every year we attend the majalis of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. In fact, the majalis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam started seconds or moments after the death and the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, 1,400 and so years ago. We have entered into the calendar year 1435. That is from the start of the Prophet's Hijrah. Minus 61 years from that, or add 61 years to the Hijri calendar. If you take it away, you will find that it is the time that the Holy Prophet migrated from the city of Mecca to Medina. So 1,400 and so years ago, or 1,300 and so years ago, if you take away the martyrdom, if you add the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, every year from the beginning of Muharram until after the month of Safar, until the 9th of Rabi' al-Awwal, there is aza and martyrdom. What is it that turns the universe and makes it stand and mourn Abi Abdullah al-Hussein? This is what we want to know. What is our obligation? We who are mourning Abi Abdullah al Hussein alongside millions of other Shias and followers and lovers of Abi Abdullah al Hussein all over the world. Today, all over the world, the majalis started and are repeated every day. We want to know, what is Muharram? What does Ashura mean? What is so important about Ashura? What is so significant about Imam Hussein alayhi salam? Do we sit down and remind ourselves that Imam Hussein was killed in a brutal way and that's it? Does our lamentation, does our tears and aza and crying and the black that we wear and the food that we give away in the name of Imam Hussein, the water that we give away in the name of Imam Hussein, the literature that we give away explaining Imam Hussein and Ashura, the lectures that we listen to, the programs that we attend, will it bring back Imam Hussein? No, it will not. Imam Hussein alayhi salam passed away in the year 61 AH. But what is our responsibility today? We will only know what our responsibility is today in the West as young men and women only by understanding Imam Hussein alayhi salam and why he was so brutally killed and mutilated. We have to understand Imam Hussein. What do I mean? We have in the ziyarah of Ahl al-Bayt, and specifically Imam Hussein, when you stand in front of the holy Imam and you say, Ataytuka, O Imam, Ataytuka za'iran arifan. I come with whole of my existence. I come with the whole of my being. I stand as a humble servant in front of you, O Imam, O infallible. I am sending you my salutation. Peace and blessings be upon you, O Imam. I come, when I do ziyarah and I know who you are. Brothers and sisters, this is very important. If we concentrate on the word arifan, all the aza that we do, the black that we wear that covers us, from when we were infants, we know, we see our brothers and sisters from the very early stages of their life, our mothers and our grandmothers, before Muharram, they prepared the black clothes for the infants. They prepared the black shirts for us. They washed them, they ironed them, they prepared and they gave it to us. O son, O daughter, this is your black clothes. Why, O mother? What is so important? This all comes from our grandmothers and grandfathers, our mothers and our fathers, who gave us the black clothes. Why? Because they knew, they came to an understanding to know Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Brothers and sisters, if it was not for the good and holy and pure upbringing of our older generations, we would not have been sitting here today. They knew what their obligation was. They carried this holy message. They sacrificed for this message with the blood of their hearts. Why? Thousands and thousands and thousands of pious individuals, mu'mineen, mu'minat, throughout the centuries, sacrificed their lives. Why? Have you ever answered or asked this question from yourself? Have you found an answer for it? Why? For Imam Hussein, okay, on top of my head, ala ayn wa ala rasi. Why would you go to Karbala, oh young lady, oh young man? Isn't it dangerous? Will you not be sacrificing your life? You can sit down at home and mourn for Imam Hussein. Switch on the internet and mourn for Imam Hussein. Go on Facebook and mourn Imam Hussein and read about Imam Hussein. Read the tweets of the lecturers and the speakers and read the riwayat and ahadith and mourn for Imam Hussein. Why do you need to go to the majlis? Why do you need to go to Karbala? This all is answered by our Imams, salawatullahi wa salamuhum alayhim ajma'in. As an introduction to the beginning of our majalis, these holy 13 nights, inshallah, we will go through a series of traditions and ahadiths that will benefit me and you in this part of the world, as young men and women and as older generations, to coming to an understanding who really Imam Hussein is and what he really stands for and what is our obligation today. So I know that you are prepared and all are concentrating towards the majlis. I would like to hear a very loud salawat. In the tafsir of the verse that I started the majlis with, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 32, وَمَنْ أَحْيَاهَا فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he himself says, مَنْ أَحْيَاهَا وَأَرْشَدَهَا مِنْ كُفْرٍ إِلَى إِيمَانٍ فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. This holy verse in the Holy Quran, the holy book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which the Holy Prophet of Islam, moments before he departed this world, young brothers and sisters, my brothers, shabab, let's learn these ahadith and riwayat and traditions. Because our aim, our objective, our desire from attending these majalis and listening to the mimbar of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein is two things. There is no third. The first is abrah, the fact that we shed tears. This is to do with al-sha'air al-Husayniyah, the holy signs and symbols to do with Imam Hussein, which inshallah we will cover and go through it deeply, in depth, in the coming nights. Abra. The second is ibrah, with the kasra under the ayn. The fact that we have to learn the ayah or the riwayah does not say you listen to the lecturer and go home afterwards and don't practice anything. Our belief, Islam, tashayyu', the madhab of Ahl al-Bayt alayhim as-salam always concentrates on the factor of knowledge and education. We have to educate ourselves. We as individuals, I myself, I'm speaking about myself. I have to educate myself. And education does not have a limit, especially in the school of Ahl al-Bayt. You are sitting here in the school of Imam Hussein. You are now being educated under the minbar of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. So make sure you are not counted as those who come and waste their time and go without have taken anything. No. You will never be wasting your time when you come to the house of Imam Hussein. Because as soon as you put it in your intentions to leave the doorsteps of your home, to come to the majlis of Imam Hussein, the malaika responsible to count the footsteps of Zuwar of Imam Hussein will start counting your steps. There is an angel. His job and his responsibility, every single mu'min and mu'minah. You are all counted as mu'min and mu'minah. In the hadith and akhbar of Ahl al-Bayt. وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. You, as a young man, and I refer to the honorable guests of Imam Hussein in this Hussainiyah as young men and women, because the inhabitants of the paradise, inshallah, we are all in the paradise, the inhabitants are all young men and women. So even though you are sitting in the majlis of Imam Hussein and you are 50 or 60, in the eyes of Allah and Ahlul Bayt, you are all young men and women. So that's why if you hear me say young men and women, I don't specifically mean the younger generations. All of you are respected by Allah and Ahlul Bayt, and all of you are on top of my head, because you are khuddam of Imam Hussein. You are the attendees of the house of Imam Hussein. Fatemeh al-Zahra, Rasulullah, Amir al-Mu'mineen, and Imam Hassan, and Imam al-Mahdi, Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu al-Sharif, are sitting by that door. This is our strong belief. Ahlul Bayt attend the majalis of Imam Hussein. This is not something I have made up. This is not something I have brought from myself. This is strong, authentic ahadith and riwayat that say that we Ahlul Bayt attend the majalis where the name of Imam Hussein alayhi salam is mentioned. So we have to be in the highest level of respect when we attend the majalis of Imam Hussein. We honor ourselves and we honor every single one of us. Going back to the holy ayah. من أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he is what the verse is talking about. How? This is part of coming and understanding why Muharram, Why Ashura? Why not any other day? There are many other occasions. There are many other events which is associated to the Holy Prophet of Islam, the commander of the believers, the lady Fatemeh al-Zahra, Imam al-Hussein, Imam al-Sajjad, the other A'immah, the other Imams and infallibles. But why Imam al-Hussein? Do you know why? Because Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, if it wasn't for him, today we were lame servants of Yazid. You will say, how? I will tell you. This verse speaks about ihya. Do you know what ihya means? Hayat, life. Man ahyaha, who? The soul. من أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, when he decided to come out and stand against the tyrant of his time. Were there no tyrants in the time of the Holy Prophet? There were. Were there no tyrants at the time of Amir al-Mu'mineen? There were. At the time of Fatemeh al-Zahra, who was attacked between the door and the wall? There were. Were there no tyrants at the time of Imam al-Hassan? There was. But why does this verse speak about Imam Hussein alayhi salam? This is an answer you would give to the enemies and the ill-educated individuals who come and attack the school of thought of Ahl al-Bayt and say to you, your Imams were not mentioned in the holy book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You would come and say, Ahlul Bayt were mentioned. How? You would bring them ahadith and riwayat that explain to you similar to this ayah, to this verse. من أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. Imam Hussein is mentioned in the Holy Quran. This is what I'm trying to say. If you come and understand the Holy Quran, you will understand Imam Hussein alayhi salam. One of the questions I mentioned in the beginning of my member is, who is Imam Hussein? When we understand Arifan, when you come and sit down and read ziyarah, stand in front of the shrine of Imam Hussein and read ziyarah, you have to know Arifan bihaqqihi. There are similarities between Imam Hussein and the Holy Quran. And inshallah in the coming nights, brothers and sisters are encouraged, thankfully, to bring a pen and paper to note down the ayat and the riwayat and the points that are mentioned in the minbar, so they can go back to it and relate, inshallah. The first similarity between the Holy Quran and Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Because as I said, the Holy Prophet of Islam, moments before he departed from this world, said, إِنِّي تَارِكٌ فِيكُمُ الثِّقْلَيْنِ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَعِتْرَتِي أَهْلَ بَيْتِي. One explains the other. Imam Hussein alayhi salam said, Kitabullah, al-Quran al-Hakim, al-Quran al-Samit, wa ana al-Quran al-Natiq. وعجل فرجهم. Al-Quran, the holy book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is al-Quran al-Samit. هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. Again, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he is also a source of guidance. This is an encouragement that we have to also hold the Holy Quran and also hold Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Not only attend the majalis of Imam Hussein, do lamentation, shed tears, eat from the blessing and the tabarruk of Imam Hussein, and leave. We have to also, in the days of Muharram, after the days of Muharram, in the days of Safar, Rabi' al-Awwal, Rabi' al-Thani, until the Hajjah, every day, read the Holy Quran. By reading the Holy Quran, you will come to understand the reality of Ahlul Bayt alayhum salam. Quran without Ahlul Bayt, not worth anything. Ahlul Bayt without the Holy Quran, not worth anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained and ordered to Archangel Jibreel, or Jibreel, go down and convey this verse to the Holy Prophet. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. This ni'mah, this blessing, which is mentioned in the Holy Quran, is talking about Ahlul Bayt. Ahlul Bayt are the blessings. Ahlul Bayt are the ni'mah. Imam Hussein is the strongest source of ni'mah. If it wasn't for Imam Hussein, Islam wouldn't have reached us. How? This is a slogan we keep hearing every year. Yazid, the tyrant, it reached him into a stage where from late night until early morning, he used to spend hours and hours and hours drinking and becoming drunk. He used to bring his monkey, sit him on his lap, bring a glass of whatever he was drinking, give some to the monkey, and drink the rest himself. They used to tell him, "Oh Amir, O commander of the Fasiqeen, the Mu'adhin is reciting the Adhan. You are saying you are the representative of the Prophet of Islam. Go to pray." He says, "Leave me. What Adhan? What salah? What prayer? What are you talking about? Leave me. Let me enjoy myself." لعبت هاشم بالملك فلا خبر جاء ولا وحي نزل. They were not Muslims. They never believed in Islam. They never believed in Allah. They never believed in the Holy Prophet of Islam. He says Hashim played with the mulk. They saw Islam as a throne that the Holy Prophet, God forbid, and Ahlul Bayt were playing around with it. This is who Imam Hussein stood against. Today, we have Yazid. Today, we have many Umayyah. Today, we have enemies fighting Imam Hussein in different ways. Are we aware of them? And what are we doing to stop against them? Stand in front of them and defend Imam Hussein, defend Islam as Imam Hussein defended Islam, and sacrificed himself for the sake of Islam. So Imam al-Hussein, he is the source of guidance. هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. The Holy Quran came down on Laylatul Qadr. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة. والإمام الحسين عليه السلام came down. The holy verses of Quran came down upon the Holy Prophet explaining about Imam Hussein. And on the eve of the birth of Imam Hussein, Archangel Jibreel was sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to come down upon the Holy Prophet and say to the Holy Prophet, O Prophet of Allah, Allah sends His blessings to you. So the Malaika came down with the Holy Quran on Laylatul Qadr. Imam Hussein, Malaika, and the master of the Malaika, Jibreel, with thousands of Malaika came down and descended on the house of Imam Ali alayhi salam, bringing down the peace and blessings and salutations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the second similarity. The Holy Quran, on the Day of Judgment, is shafi'. It will intercede for every single person who recited the Holy Quran and came to understand. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he is also a shafi' on the Day of Qiyamah. The third or the fourth, the Holy Quran is a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within itself. In the Holy Quran, there are lots of verses that are signs of i'jaz and miracles. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, he is also a sign of i'jaz and miracle. How? His head was severed from his body. The head of Imam Hussein was risen on top of the head of the spear. From Karbala until Sham, the head of Imam Hussein was looking at every single son and daughter which were in the caravan of Lady Zainab and Imam Zain al-Abidin. The body of Imam Hussein itself is a mu'jizah, it's a miracle. The body of Imam Hussein and the severed throat of Imam Hussein was speaking to Lady Zainab after his death. The soil of Imam Hussein, التربة الحسينية, itself is a mu'jizah. There is a doctor in Pakistan. He has a laboratory. He produces medicine. In every medicine that he produces, he inserts a little bit of the turba of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He was invited to a conference just before Eid al-Ghadir in Pakistan. They have a conference. He had the most time to speak. He explained to the thousands of people who were in the conference. He said to them, I have been practicing my profession for years. I produce medicine, tablets, capsules, drinks, injections, and in every source of medicine I place a little bit of the soil of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. There hasn't been a single case where an ill patient has come to me and I have given them any type of medicine that I produce unless they have been cured with the barakah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This is the soil of Imam Hussein. Even if you sit down and mourn Imam Hussein year after year until 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5 million, until Day of Judgment, Imam Hussein will remain a source of enlightenment and miracle and a source of peace and blessings. My time is running. We have the Honorable Sheikh we'll listen to in Arabic. We will continue inshallah in the coming nights. The Holy Quran, every day you read it, you will learn something new. You will never get bored of the Holy Quran. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, similar. Every year, millions of people, thousands of lecturers go up on the pulpit of Imam Hussein. They read the majalis of Imam Hussein. They re-explain the majalis of Imam Hussein. Does anyone get bored of listening to the majalis of Imam Hussein? Reading this, reciting the Holy Quran is a ibadah. This is all an introduction to coming and to know and to understand Imam Hussein. عارفا بحقه من أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. Imam Hussein's majalis, Imam Hussein's black, Imam Hussein's lamentation, Imam Hussein's tears, those who shed tears. For Imam Hussein, this is a source of ibadah, like praying and fasting, and maybe more. Visiting the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam is counted in some of the riwayat as 70 times. If you go to Hajj, it is equivalent to one ziyarah of Imam Hussein, عارفا بحقه. The companion said, "Oh Imam, 70 times I go to Hajj and Umrah. I go around the holy house of Allah 7 times. I do sa'i between Safa and Marwa. I go on the Jamarat. I throw stones on the Jamarat 70 times. It's equivalent to one ziyarah of Imam Hussein." Imam said, if you continue until the day of judgment, I will increase the number as well. So if you say to me 100 times, I will say yes, 100 times. If you say to me 1,000 times, I will say to you 1,000 times. Which means 1,000 times you go to the Kaaba, to the Hajj, to the Umrah, it is equivalent to one ziyarah of Imam Hussein. Who is this Hussein? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created Hussein. People go to the holy house of Allah to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Hussein, he himself went and done tawaf around the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You do tawaf and hajj and sa'i, safa, marwa, it is worth hundreds and hundreds of times, equivalent to one ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Do we understand Imam Hussein now? This Hussein that I sit down and recite my lectures, I'm speaking about myself. I swear to Allah, if I sit down until the day of judgment, reading and crying for Imam Hussein, I will never be able to understand a single drop from the oceans of Imam Hussein. But it is my duty to sit down and do my best to understand Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The Holy Quran, the respect for the Holy Quran is wajib. Ihtiram al-Quran al-Kareem wajib. If you see the Holy Quran placed on the floor, you take it, you kiss it, you place it on a high shelf, similar to Imam Hussein. The majalis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the member of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the black cloths on the walls of the Hussainniat and the masajid, the servant who comes and serves his master and Mawla, they are all respected and highly regarded as you respect the Quran. Why? Because they are associated with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Until here, I will go into the musibah, very short musibah, as the Shaykh inshallah will continue the masa'ib of Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam. Usually the first night of Muharram, we dedicate the masa'ib to Fatemeh al-Zahra salamullahi alayha. Lady Fatemeh was pregnant with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The Holy Prophet used to come knock on the door of Fatemeh. Assalamu alaykum ya Ahl Bayt al-Nubuwah wa ma'din al-Risala wa mukhtalaf al-Malaika أتأذنون لمحمد الدخول. O household of prophets, those households and the individuals who the malaika, the angel of Allah, come down upon them, do you grant Muhammad a permission to come inside and join you? Who? The Prophet of Islam, asking permission from who? Fatemeh al-Zahra. The mother of who? Imam Hussein. Fatemeh al-Zahra stands on her feet, advances towards the door. She opens the door for the Holy Prophet. She says, Abba, أهلا ومرحبا البيت بيتك والأمة أمتك. Father, this is your house, it belongs to you, come inside, oh Father. Holy Rasulullah sits down, Fatemeh al-Zahra sits again alongside her father. Holy Prophet wants to know how Fatemeh is. She is pregnant with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, his daughter, the one who he said, Ummu Abiha. Oh Fatemeh, how are you? How is the pregnancy with you? How is the child in your stomach, in your womb? She said, oh Father, with the grace of Allah, Alhamdulillah, everything is well. But Father, there is one thing I am not able to understand. Oh Fatima, what is it? Explain to me. I will be able to answer back. Oh Father, the child which is in my stomach, the child which is in my womb, has been speaking to me. What is he saying, oh Fatima? Oh Father, the child Hussein in my stomach yesterday was saying, Ana al-Madloom. Ba'ad, Ya Zahra, what else is he saying? Oh Father, this child in my stomach the day before was saying, Ana al-Atshan. Again, Ya Zahra, anything else? Did he speak to you today? Yes, Father, oh Prophet of Allah, he was saying today, do you know what he was saying? He was saying to me, Amma, oh Mother Fatima, Ana al-Gharib. Oh Mother, I am the one who is going to be killed, who is going to be prevented from water. I am going to be all alone. Who is reciting the Masa'ib? He himself, Imam Hussein, in the womb of his mother Fatima. Before his birth, he was reciting his own Masa'ib. Who was crying? Fatemeh al-Zahra. Who was attending the majlis? Rasulullah. Is that it? No. Before the creations of the earth and the skies, who was reading the Masa'ib? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who was listening? The malaika, the angels. Allah explained to them, Ya malaikati wa ya sukana samawati, there will be a day one of my closest servants in the name of Hussein will attend a land called Karbala. He will be severed, his head will be separated. Malaika started shouting, crying. Disturbance happened in the skies. Oh Allah, what are you saying? He said, oh Allah, oh Malaika, oh angels, Hussein, the grandson of the Holy Prophet of Islam, will come to Karbala with his family and children. He will be killed. His family will be deprived of water and his head will be severed. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. Ya Allah, oh Allah, we ask you in the best and the closest and those who you love the most, Muhammad and Ali and Fatemeh and Hassan and Hussein and the 9 children of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, hasten the appearance of our awaited Imam, Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman. Grant us the opportunity to attend and learn them from the majalis of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.